All right, this is Jerry with Writing Comics. I'm here tonight with Michael Oden, the creator of Elysian Fields, and you're watching, like I said, Writing Comics, the most truthful stream on the internet. And Michael Oden just happens to be the creator of the navigation system for the SpaceX rocket. What say you, Michael?
What? Oh, God. No. Wrong.
Okay, Michael is
Michael.
Michael is the creator of Elysian Fields, and would you like to give us a quick rundown? I've already got the sheet. I can't speak tonight. I've got these.
All good. I was having those kind of issues earlier, and trust me, I get it. So the base premise of the book is that fate shackled Achilles in life and death. He was finally free until a mysterious calling took him from his peace, and he's forced to fight as a champion for Hades in a tournament that crowns the ruler of the underworld every 1,000 years. And so essentially, Elysian Fields is a tournament-style book that has all the different pantheons in the world. Each of them has a god of death. And so each of these mythologies' respective god of death participates in this tournament. And they do so by assembling a team of heroic champions and monsters from their respective mythologies to fight on their behalf. And if they win, they become the next lord of the underworld. And so, as I said, it happens every 1,000 years. And Achilles is our protagonist. He's the viewpoint in which we are seeing this tournament. And Achilles is not too happy to be participating in this tournament, and is only reluctantly agreed to do so because Hades has promised him his greatest desire should they win. It's going to be a really exciting book. You're going to get to see all sorts of different heroes from different cultures clash and fight one another. It's fun. It's a good time. And Marcelo just finished up the pencils of the last 5 pages, and so we're moving in towards the end part of the book, and we're just excited to get it out to everyone.
Yeah, it's the art. The art looks great, man. I really enjoy it. So this is America, so we like to get stuff. So let's see what you what are we getting when we order? What is, for that fact, what is it says issue 0. So what exactly does that mean?
So issue 0 is the prologue, essentially. This sets the stage for the series. You don't really get to see much of the tournament in this book. This kind of starts off with Achilles' final battle at Troy, and then at the end of the book, he's gotten to the arena and he's starting his first fight. But what you guys are getting here for backing this campaign and helping us get funded and what have you is you will be getting a collector item that has a cardstock foil cover, which means it'll be holographic. The pages will be glossed, and you get 24 pages of story, and you get an art gallery. So all in all, it rounds out to around 34 pages. No, 36 pages. I apologize. Once you include the covers and everything.
I got you. So there's a digital copy.
There is a digital money saver. We kind of added that one on a little bit late. I tolerate digital comics. I usually only get digital if it's a book that I want to keep up with, but I don't care about owning.
Yeah, I'm a print kind of guy.
Yeah, and so initially I only had the print tiers, and I had 5 or 6 people message me you should put a digital up, especially with
things.
Yeah,
that's what you have is seven backers. So
yeah,
you got 39 on your print issue. I assume this is the single issue.
So that is the single issue. In fact, I think actually our top selling item it's it's got to be either Double Trouble Deluxe or Single Issue Deluxe, and there's a reason for that. I mean, obviously, people like the idea of things being signed, but we also lucked out, and the very talented Jim O'Reilly did a pinup for us, and so all deluxe tiers of the book are getting that pinup. So if you got the Single Issue Deluxe or if you got Double Trouble Deluxe, you're getting a pinup, and it's beautiful. If you go to the updates actually and scroll down, you'll be able to see it.
And so the Double Trouble and the deluxe issues are the ones that are signed. If we want a signed issue, that's what we need to get is the deluxe.
Yes. So Double Trouble Deluxe gives you 2 copies. One is signed, one is not. So essentially, it's like that ultimate collector thing where you have a copy where you can you read through, fold up, do whatever the hell you want to it to really get your enjoyment out of it, and then you have one that you can put up on display. And then along with those deluxe tiers, you've got the Jim O'Reilly print, and then our final tier that we have there is Luke Stone, our letterer, is also a super talented artist, and we were on a live stream with Demon Fell from Comics and More, New Jersey. And while we were doing that, Luke did a live drawing of some characters from Elysian Fields. And so he donated the original art to our campaign. And so whoever gets that perk tier will get the original print, will get the original art of that Luke Stone did. And they will get, if I can talk, now you've gotten me into it. You'll get a signed copy of Elysian Fields and the Jim O'Reilly pinup.
I got you. So this is where you said the print was on down.
So if you go up to where the updates are on Indiegogo, so if you scroll up,
okay, I got you on the tab.
Yeah. So if you scroll down, Jim O'Reilly print reveal.
Oh man.
Yeah, you don't want to miss that. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, that's nice. That needs to be on your. Can you put that on your story?
So what we will be doing is once the campaign closes out and I know how much I need to order from the printer, we are going to essentially, we aren't going to be, if I can talk, geez.
It's okay.
Now you're getting me. So once we run out of the issues that we have printed, because I'm going to be ordering essentially by demand, and then I'm going to order maybe 100 or 2 extra, so that we have enough. Because I've got a few stores interested in carrying the book. So when we've run out of those, that the edition of the book that people are getting right now will no longer be available. And what we will be doing is we will be having a floppy and a black and white edition of the book. And so for the floppy of the book, to make the cover that you guys are getting even more special, Jim O'Reilly's pinup is going to be the cover of the floppy.
Oh, wow.
And that floppy is just going to be the 24 pages of story and however many pages of credits. It's not going to include the character designs or anything like that. It's not going to have that art gallery.
We need to stop talking about this because people are going to wait. We don't want people to wait. We want them. We want them to back your campaign.
People are gonna back the campaign, and genuinely, yeah, Jim O'Reilly's print looks good, but and don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic cover. It's going to be a fantastic cover, but Marcelo's cover that he did for this is gorgeous, and it's a foil cover. It's holographic. Yeah. So
do you have a picture of the cover yet?
Give me 2 seconds. I can actually get you our sample.
Oh wow, okay. So we're gonna get to see the cover of Elysian Fields. It's a foil cover. It's a sample that Michael is going to show us. Sounds like it is an amazing cover. I mean, foil is always nice on anything. It's also a little more expensive. So if you haven't already, the book sounds like a great concept. It sounds like, and it looks like it has great art. So just go ahead and back that if you haven't already. Also, on another note, while he's getting that cover, Evermatter. I'm getting ready to do my campaign on Evermatter, so be looking out for that. You can follow me at Jerry Unbound on Twitter for updates on what's happening with Evermatter. It's going to be a great book. It's based on Celtic mythology. There's a lot of mythology books coming out. I think they're just great stories, so people are drawn to them, and they're classics. So yeah, back. Be looking out for updates on Evermatter, and be looking out for our back Elysian Fields. There's 2 days left, so there's that. While he's gone, I'm going to stop sharing the screen, and I'm going to
Sorry about that. Hold on.
It's the wrong one. Wrong screen. So let's see. Share screen. Let's close out this one. Okay. Share screen if I get this thing figured out. Okay, there we go. With audio. Okay. All right, so let's play the video while we're waiting on Michael.
So sorry about that. My son hid. Hey there, welcome them from me. Elysian Fields crowdfunding.
Okay, well, I was just gonna play the video while you was gone, and then we'll look at your the new cover.
Yeah, sounds good. Campaign. Thanks for giving us a check out. Elysian Fields started off as just a game between friends. Nerdy kids debating which mythic heroes would win and stood against each other. Over the years, as things grew, this became a concept I fixated on, knowing the potential that it could have as a story. Now it's a living, breathing thing. And for it to succeed, I need you. So come check out our Indiegogo campaign and see what you can do to bring Elysian Fields issue 0 to print and beyond. Thank you. All right. Sorry about disappearing on you there. My son has kind of gotten a hold of my sample covers and hid them places.
That's okay. I'm looking forward to seeing what you. I'm looking forward to seeing what you got. Oh wow, dude! That's amazing.
So like this sells itself. Don't get me wrong. O'Reilly's pinup is fantastic, and it's going to be a cool floppy cover. But you're not going to want to miss out on this. Look at that.
Yeah, that's nice. That is really nice, dude. That's worth it for. Get back to the screen there is that only on the deluxe? Is the foil only on the deluxe?
No, that's on every one of them. That's every single one of them.
Wow.
One of the big things that I really wanted to push here is that every single person that backs this campaign and gets us funded and everything, this is a thank you to you guys. Because without you, I wouldn't have a book.
So let me get this straight. After this campaign ends, there's not going to be any more aluminum foil. Is that
once we have what we have printed off and I sell out of what I have, that's done. This is going to be a collector's item. So that moving forward, those of you guys that backed us and said, hey, we want to pardon me. We want to. We're backing the rest of the series. You guys that started it have something to show our appreciation to you, because like we plan on going pretty far with this. I think I could probably get this story to be going to around 30 to 50 issues. which will all be like each time we do a campaign, it'll be a collection of 5 issues plus a side story.
Yeah, that's for $10, man. And that foil cover. Can we see it one more
Yeah,
time?
of course. Give
I'll
me
put
a
you back
sec.
up here. I don't know how to put you. Oh yeah, that's nice. $10, dude. You can't beat that. That's bottom
Yeah.
price. You get it signed for, uh, I forgot what the price was, and then you can get it signed for 15. You get the
Yeah.
double
And
for
then,
20. So man, this is a.
yeah.
I think that's the best deal I've seen on a campaign. You know,
And
with the a foil cover, it usually doesn't come for that. You know, at that.
and
You know,
and
sorry. Go ahead.
you're not the first person to say that either. And like my whole thing with it is that at the end of the day, this is my first book, so you're investing in me when I don't have anything for you guys to compare it to. You're taking a chance on me, so I'm rewarding you. You're getting the best that I can get with the money that you give me. Like, and on top of that, like, we're gonna be like for shipping and what have you, we're gonna be taking extra care. I'm already looking at, we're gonna be having them in bubble wrap, and then we're getting the comic shippers from what's it called? The comic flash mailers from Gemini Supply.
Gemini. Yeah, Gemini.
Yes, we're gonna be getting those. So like, you guys are going to be there's a reason why I charge like everyone. I had a few people be like, $10 is pretty pricey for shipping, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm taking care of your books. Like,
Yeah.
you're not going to have an issue. Like, if you get your book and it's bent up or something like that, then somebody was mishandling your package. It's not going to be on my end. And if you tell me that it's been damaged or what have you, I'm going to figure out a way to get it to you. Get you at least one new copy of it, and like that'll be the only case where I make more of these is if like I know that we have a few overseas backers, and if they just don't get it, then what I will do is I will take it upon myself to go to, if we've run out of copies by that point, I will take it upon myself to approach Hero and Villain Design, our printer, and say, hey, I need like 3 of these. And I will
Yeah, it's not
that, but like otherwise, I want these to feel like a collector's piece because that's what they are.
Yeah, that's what they are. $10 shipping for I don't understand why somebody would say that might be expensive, because $10 shipping on protecting that cover, because you're kind of, it's almost like you're splitting the cost of the cover.
Yeah.
Because the cover is more expensive. I don't know if you go to check into printing cost, you'll find out.
Well,
if you haven't already, if you haven't, yeah.
And like Hero and Villain gave us a very solid deal, and a lot of that I think had to do with we're donating 25 copies of this to the Walter Reed Special Forces Clinic.
Okay.
My dad runs a local SF chapter, and I figured it'd be a nice thing to do. So we'll be going and handing them out to some of them to the staff, I think, and some of them to the soldiers. So it'll be a good time. But they found out about that, and they're donating the 25 that we're donating, and they've been such a great company to work with. Honestly, if anyone's looking for a printer out there, if you're looking at making your own book, what have you, and you're looking for a printer that does really nice work, you need to go check out Hero and Villain Design. They're fantastic.
Yeah, that's a very nice gesture. It sounds like you're on the right track as far as, dude, your campaign's doing good for your first book. I'm hoping to do as well. When mine comes out, it's a nervous feeling. It's a nervous feeling whenever you put out your. I spoke to some other people earlier today. When you put out that first book and you go ahead and put it out there to public, and somebody buys it, and it's going to them, and you're like,
dude, let me tell you, man, we should have our advanced PDFs ready for reviewers and stores soon. And I am on pins and needles, man. I did get some very good feedback. My letterer Luke Stone was like, "Look, man, like when we were on the Demon Phil live stream, he was talking about how lettering some books can be a chore, but lettering Elysian Fields was really smooth, and that he put his stamp of approval and said that it was going to be a good book."
Yeah,
And Luke Stone's I'm not sure if you've met Luke or anything, but Luke Stone's a no bullshit kind of guy. Um, he's not somebody that's just going to blow smoke up your rear end to make you feel pretty.
yeah. So you got that little bit of a that step of approval that you are
Yeah,
doing something right. So it's kind of gives you a little confidence.
and it does, but like it's still the whole thing of what Luke might like, somebody else might not, and so
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, there are going to be people who really. I assume that there will probably be people who read my book and really like it, and for those people, you're awesome. I love you guys. Keep buying my books, and for those who didn't like the book, I can I'd like to hear their opinions as well, because I mean maybe there's something I can fix. Um, but like it's still a nerving thing because I don't think any creator goes into the game hoping that everyone's going to hate their product. I think
no,
if that's the mentality that you walk in there with, you shouldn't be in the field. Because
yeah,
at the end of the day, consumer based industry, you need to be making sure that you put out a product that people want.
yeah. I agree, and I think that the community that we're involved in, and the people that I've associated myself with in the Comicsgate community, they all seem to have that passion. You know, there was a comment
Absolutely.
made earlier on Twitter about passion for the project that you're working on, and
Yeah.
you know, if you have that passion, something's good. Something always good. Something always. This stream is cursed. Something always good comes from passion. So,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely. And like that's been one of the cool things. And I've read I do freelance reviews for a site called Up Your Geek. And so I've gotten a whole bunch of indie books to review over the past month or so, and only one of them has been bad. The rest of them have been fantastic books, and it's one of the greatest part about being in the indie comic community. Comic skater no is every single one of these guys is dedicated to their projects, and you can feel that passion when you read it. You can feel that passion when you're looking at the artwork, because they don't have trillions to fall back on. You know, they
well,
like they don't have Disney giving them the bankroll.
I've noticed that some of the mainstream books, not all, but a majority of them seem to have it's a formula. You
Yeah,
almost know what's going to happen when you open when a new series starts and you open that first page. You already know where this is going, how it's going to end. Just about. I mean, you might be off on some details, but the
yeah.
major arc of the story is
Well,
always the same.
the
The independent
the
guys seem to have a lot better, a more original ideas come out of the indie community.
yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of that with the mainstream has to do with they they are cowardly in the fact that they don't want to create new, like they don't want to create genuinely new characters. Like the thing that made Silver and Bronze Age of comics and the Golden Age of comics so great was you had a new character every week, and like not just like a new character, like a brand new character, not a legacy, not a like a wow, I'm just drawing a blank. Not any race swaps, not anything like that. Not just
Yeah, yeah,
switching up, not just switching up characters and giving them the name of an old character, what have you. No, you had brand new characters, and
well,
because Marvel and DC haven't really made any new characters for years, they're all stuck in a rut of these same stories where like DC has a crisis event every 2 years now. It's like,
yeah,
okay,
that's
this was
kind of
cool like the first 2 or 3 times that you did it, but now it just feels like a overplayed trope. And then like how many times is Thanos going to get the is Thanos going to be hunting for the Infinity Stones? in Marvel at this point. Like, don't get me wrong, I like Jonathan Hickman's Infinity. I thought it was great, but like, it just seems like both of these companies will get to a point where they get all of these characters doing the same stuff, and then they'll be like, and then we built it up for a Secret War or an Infinity thing or a Crisis or a this or a that. And
well, the thing about it is you got. Go ahead.
I didn't say
The thing
anything.
about it is when you do events like that, and that's, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, when you do events like that, and the what the crunch of that is that you have to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Every event you do, you have Infinity War, and then you have to have Infinity War, and then you just have to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually it just becomes, like you said, a trope.
I honestly think that that's a mistake, because I think that like there's something to be said for a smaller, focused story. Like one of the best comic books I've read from the main line in years was a book that came out about a year and a half ago called Spider-Man Life Story by Chip Zdarsky. And so Chip Zdarsky took all these major comic book storylines and everything that Spider-Man was involved with throughout his entire run, from the Silver Age to now, and weaved it into a 60-year biography of Peter Parker.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out because I'm not familiar with it.
Oh man, it's fantastic. Each issue is a decade in the life of Peter Parker, and it's brilliant. Zdarsky made a Citizen Kane of comic books, because like the whole thing is exploring what it is that drives Peter Parker. Like, what is the thing that gets him to wake up in the morning? Is like the end. Like when you read the ending, that's what the whole series has been about. Is kind of that whole what's Peter Parker's Rosebud. And it's a great book, and it's focused. It doesn't try to be bigger than what it needs to be. It's a Spider-Man story. And I feel that if a lot of these mainstream writers were to focus on character and creating a good narrative, you don't have to have a huge event. Something small can spread. I remember one of like the big events that happened, when I was getting into comics, was Avengers Disassembled, which was, Hawkeye died and Scott Lang died, and this caused a fallout with the Avengers. I mean, and that was a good story. You don't have to have a universe-breaking event to get people to read books. You need character-driven narrative.
Well, what's the movie with Keanu Reeves in it where he kills everybody? I cannot think of the name of the movie. I would at any other time. It's got John Wick. John Wick, the first movie, really cool, man. But after the second movie, I started watching the second movie. It did have just a little bit of a better story, and I'm probably gonna get roasted for this because there's a lot of John Wick fans out there. But the second, if you watch, we tried to binge it. If you watch the second movie, it's the exact same thing, and it got old because of the just shoot, reload, shoot.
Like, I think that the big thing that people really like about John Wick isn't the plot; it's the well choreographed action and the fact that Keanu Reeves is a terrible line actor. If you give him a lot of dialogue, he's literally just going to sound like he plays one character. He plays Stone Surfer guy from Cali Bay, and that's it. Like the California Shore, that's him. He's been Ted. He's from Ted from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and every movie he's been in since then. But where Keanu Reeves does very well is in body acting, like how he can express emotion with his face, how he can express his emotions through body language and movement. Those are the things that Keanu Reeves are very good at. And so you get this really great performance where Keanu Reeves is pretty much playing a silent role in every single one of those movies. And all of his acting is done through the delivery of movement rather than the delivery of dialogue, and so it plays to his strengths.
Well, it does. But it also kind of makes my point that you know we were talking about strong character,
Mhm.
but you have to have that dialogue and you have to have that
Yeah,
emotional connection for a strong character. So that's the point I was trying to make with
yeah,
the
absolutely.
so and I think a lot of comic books have gone down that road of action, 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 no character development.
Well, I actually would disagree with you on that because I think that a lot of the big problems with modern comic books is that everybody wants their character to be a soapbox. And so even during action sequences, characters aren't shutting up. Like I'm not sure. Like
Yeah,
I've this is our like first time chatting, so like I don't know if you've ever been in a fight before. I assume that you have,
yeah,
but
high
there's not
school.
a lot of
Yeah,
there's not a lot of banter going on there. Like there are certain characters where like Spider-Man, that's a kind of a shtick of his. He pokes fun, and that's actually a weapon that he uses against his enemies as he gets
he's got the
flustered and shit.
one-liners.
But like for the most part, when you're in a fight, you're not giving like 10-line soliloquies about your political views or identity or anything like that. And like this is one of the things that drove me bananas about Civil War II was they'd have these fantastic 2-page spreads with everyone charging at each other, ready to fight. And then the next page, rather than people fighting, they just start talking with one another and arguing over the morality of the point of the book. And I was just like, this isn't a war. This is a civil dispute.
Yeah, civil dispute. Yeah, that should be the new title for Civil War. Okay, so let's go back
Moving.
to moving on. Let's go to I got you said you liked pitting mythical or uh, characters against each other. So I had a few
Yeah,
questions for you.
of course.
Okay, Axl Rose or Mick Jagger?
Well, now you're going into music, and that's
Well, who would win in a fight? Let's put it that way. Who would win in a fight? They got their big hair. They got their spandex pants on.
probably Mick Jagger.
I think Mick Jagger. I agree.
Like he was like he's got a bigger rep in the rock and roll, and I guess that like when you're going up against rock and roll, like I mean, yeah, Axl Rose is Guns N' Roses, but like, does Guns N' Roses have a magazine?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of where I would be going with it because like once you're comparing like two music icons for like a fight, I don't really know because like I can't be like, oh well, Axl Rose studied kung fu and but but Mick Jagger knows Jeet Kune Do. He trained with Bruce Lee. Like I don't know any of that shit.
Okay, so
I
you
can't
don't.
really make a judgment outside of like, okay, who's the more famous and who has the more acclaim, and by that I would say Mick Jagger does. Because the Rolling Stones, as much as I actually enjoy Guns N' Roses more because I like the sound of Axl Rose's singing more than I like Mick Jagger's. Rolling Stones was a bigger deal.
Yeah. All right, Taylor Swift or Nicki Minaj?
I hate both of them. Can they both lose?
All right, we're fighting now. We're in this is Hunger Games. All right.
Yeah.
So Taylor Swift or Nicki Minaj? If you had to put money on it, they flew out to the UFC island. The guy Drew, what's his name?
Well, Nicki Minaj has a huge advantage there because she literally like Taylor Swift's a twig. Like Nicki Minaj has actual throw behind a punch, and on top of that, I'm like fairly certain that Nicki Minaj probably has been in a fight before. Whereas I think that like the extent of Taylor Swift getting into a fight was like catty
Watching Jack
being hurled across the lunchroom, and I think that's about it.
Okay, Chun-Li versus Cammy.
Chun-Li versus
Cammy from Street Fighter.
Let me double check and make sure I'm thinking of the right person. I'm not big into the Street Fighter franchise like that. I think I know who we're talking about. Is it Chun-Li versus?
It's the
I thought like the whole point was that like, so Cammy is like the second in command to Guile, right?
yeah, something like that. She's got the high hip
I
leotard.
honestly would have to give that one a draw. Chun-Li definitely has more skill, but I feel like Cammy could probably take a beating and has more stamina. And so it would be that whole thing of the collision of the immovable object meets the unstoppable force.
Okay, I got something for you. Okay, so if you were gonna put your money on it, you'd put it on. You got to put it on.
If she moved quick enough and could take her out, Chun-Li I think has the advantage for skill, because I do think that she's a better martial artist and a better overall fighter. But like that, the big thing would be is how quickly she could end the fight. Because like if it lasts too long, I think Cammy would win.
Okay.
But it would almost be like without like the complete one-sidedness of his entire career in boxing. It would kind of be like the whole McGregor versus Mayweather debate of like if McGregor was able to if McGregor had a hope of beating Mayweather, it would have been within the first 4 rounds, right? Because that's like the moment that it gets past that point, he's going to start to tire out. And then Mayweather just plays what Mayweather's played his entire career, which is defensive style boxing. So that's what I think would be a similar thing, except nowhere near as one-sided in Mayweather's favor. I think that Cammy's a very adequate fighter, and I think that she would hold her own. But like Chun-Li is definitely she's been doing this since she was a little kid. Like,
all right, let's check this out.
Is this a death battle? Is this what we're doing?
It's not a rap battle. Is that too loud?
No, it's kind of freezing out.
Now.
See, you can't do this like based off of like an act. Like I guess if you have both the CPUs go at it, but even still, like I don't feel like that's I feel like the only way that you'd really find the answer to that is if you got the creator of Street Fighter down and asked him who would win in the fight between Cammy and Chun-Li.
No, this is official. This is going to be for our purposes. This is going to be official.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who's controlling these characters, so it could be something. I don't know.
It's breaking up. So you're just gonna have to tell me who wins.
Okay, I didn't realize it was gonna break up. Hold on one second. I don't know. I was saving it for you. I didn't watch it ahead of time. I just pulled it up.
All right. Well, let's find out who won at the end.
Okay, let's see.
Because that's what's important.
That's what's important.
Two attractive fighting chicks is like also fun, but like it's slowing down the video, and I don't want to be like sitting here for like 40 minutes while it tries to buffer. It looks like both of them.
Oh yeah, I think she's done for. Yeah.
So Chun-Li.
I don't know how. Chun-Li won it. She's the original, though. I knew she would.
Okay.
Yeah, she's the original. All right, Elmo versus.
Like Emma from Tekken.
No, Elmo from Sesame Street.
Elmo. Oh, I thought you
said Elmo versus Kermit the Frog.
Kermit.
You know he's got the wine glass.
It's not even that. Kermit deals with Miss Piggy all the time. What's Elmo deal with? Jack shit.
The Cookie Monster.
Yeah, I'll take Kermit in that fight any day of the week.
Okay,
Plus Kermit fought off an entire crew of pirates in Muppets Treasure Island, so he knows how to sword fight.
Kermit is pretty handy with a was it a saber?
Yeah.
All right, Donald Duck versus Daffy Duck.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
Ooh,
I'm gonna tell you. I've had yeah, I've had the spotlight on you, but I'll tell you what I think, and I'll tell you why. I think Daffy, because Daffy's more relatable to me. Like Donald,
I like Daffy more, but if we're taking in everything that Donald Duck has been in, he's in Kingdom Hearts and has thunder magic, and is really effective in those games. So it's got like Donald wins. Like
he would win it. Yeah, he would.
If it was a fight between the ducks, I love Daff. I think he's funny. I think he's much funnier than Donald is. But like you have to get like Donald has literally summoned lightning down from the sky and zapped people with it. So
Daffy has taken a shotgun blast straight to the buttocks and
the
face.
But Daffy's also gotten struck by lightning before and it disintegrates him. And
yeah,
like granted, it would honestly just be like a giant war of attrition until both of them gave up because they're cartoon characters that disobey the laws of physics all the time. But
you can understand Daffy though.
Yeah, I like Daffy. I think Daffy's great. Duck Rogers was one of my favorite cartoons growing up. The Buck Rogers spoof that they did with Daffy Duck, and they had Porky Pig be his first mate. Watched the hell out of that show. That was great.
All right, let's talk about let me see, Elysian.
No more mythic matchups for me.
No more mythic matchups. I mean, we can. Who do you have any mythic matchups that you would you'd be interested in watching? Like if you had your choice of anybody, any character, any creation to fight, who would it be?
Oh boy,
and
that's
why?
Actually a really cool question. Any mythic person to fight.
Anyone you can think of. Let's put it that way. Anybody that just any character, any creation, any.
You know what? I am gonna go. A fight that I would really like to see would be King Arthur versus Siegfried.
Monty Python.
Huh?
Versus Monty Python.
Oh God!
Versus like search.
He already did. He already did that. He lost. He lost to Monty Python. There was no Grail. The French had it. The Castle of Drew de la Whopper. No, I think it'd be really cool to see King Arthur versus. You know what? I'm gonna switch it up. King Arthur versus Diarmuid.
All right, Diarmuid. Who is? I'm not sure.
He's a character from Irish folklore that was known for he wielded 2 magic swords and 2 magic spears. I mean, his big defining thing was he had this birthmark on his face that was blessed with magic that made every woman he met fall in love with him.
I should know that because my whole book's on Celtic mythology. Yeah. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna have to look it up.
I honestly didn't know about him until actually I watched one of the things that got my butt in gear in writing this book, which was Fate Zero, which is an anime that's up on Netflix. If you have not watched Fate Zero, watch Fate Zero. It's so good. But Fate Zero kind of served as a way for me to kind of streamline my own concept. They are similar in some ways and very different in others. But that was kind of the first time where I had seen mythic heroes from different cultures go up against one another in that way in this kind of tournament, and it's what kind of got the gears rolling on my concept.
So it's so with this Elysian Fields, you are at $5,633. So you need just over $7,000 for your flexible goal. 2 days left. So we need to back the Elysian Fields. Would you? Hey, can you show that cover one more time?
Yeah,
I'd like to see it again.
I mean, I don't blame you. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. So for $15, you get the signed cover, foil cover.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a great campaign. Great.
And for the deluxe editions, you get an 11 by 17 pinup from that from Jim O'Reilly. So, I mean, that's pretty awesome as well.
Yeah, let me pull that up. So, if anyone watches the stream after the live, they'll see Jim O'Reilly. If they're skipping through, So that's the I can't zoom out on it, I don't guess. So yeah, that's the Jim O'Reilly. We pin up. What size is that?
11 by 17.
11 by 17. So
it's a standard like wall pinup.
So how will that ship? Will it come in the?
So it's gonna be folded, and it will be in with your guys' book. So you'll get your book. If you get 2 books, it'll probably be your book, and then you'll get 2 of the books, and then the pinup will separate each book. And then if you get the single issue, it'll be your book and the pinup. And then for single issue and Double Trouble regular, you just get your copies of the book.
Okay. So the best value is going to be your Double Trouble. That way you have the one that's signed you can put up, and then you'll have the one that's
the best value is for sure Double Trouble Deluxe. Honestly, I might not do Double Trouble next time because there were only like 4 backers for that one, just like the standard Double Trouble. And I totally get that, because why would you buy like 2 copies and not have one signed? And what I might even do is, depending on how much we make on the campaign, I might upgrade those 5 people to Double Trouble Deluxe, just to be like, look, I realize that you didn't get the Double Trouble Deluxe thing, but like, I'm not.
But I gave $5 more.
Yeah,
Mr.
like
Michael, that's not fair.
But that's the thing. That what if they're missing out on the pinup and the signature, and meanwhile somebody paid they paid $30 for Double Trouble, and meanwhile somebody paid $25 for single issue deluxe, and they're getting a signature and a pinup.
Yeah.
So I might I'm genuinely considering, like, depending on how much we make on the campaign, and I think that I genuinely think if last time I checked there was like 6 people that got Double Trouble. So like I'm pretty much considering just being like, screw it, the Double Trouble backers are just gonna get the Double Trouble Deluxe. Like if we get a super sudden influx of people just buying Double Trouble, then I will just be like, okay, guys, you guys are just getting the 2 copies. But like everyone seems to be going towards either single issue deluxe, or Double Trouble Deluxe.
Yeah,
no one's really touching Double Trouble regular.
Yeah, it looks like you've got 51 just on the Double Trouble, and then you've only got 5 on the. I mean, on the Double Trouble you only have 5, and then the Double Trouble Deluxe you have 51. So yeah, everybody, just about all your backers. You've actually sold more of the Double Trouble than you have of the.
A lot of people want a lot of people want more than 1 copy. And I don't blame them. It looks like it's a great looking book.
Yeah, if you're a creator, that's something to think about. If you're trying to work out your tiers, to do something like that. You know what I've gotten out of this conversation, Michael? You really care about your customers, man.
Like when you back your book, when you back the campaign, you're gonna get a secret perk too. Every single person that has gotten this book should have, and if you haven't and you're watching this, like, hey jerk, I didn't get a secret perk, then message the FAQ on the campaign so that it gets to me and I'll send it to you. But every single person has gotten a special phone background for their phone or computer that has not been shown to anybody else. It's for every single backer of the book, and that's how I'm keeping it. So it's going to be a pain in the ass if we have a huge jump of people and we have like 300 people contribute to the campaign in the next day or so. But I'm going to keep up with it. Every single one of you guys is getting a secret perk that's not even listed up there. I love my customers. You guys are what keeps me running. I'm never going to tell you, well, then this book's not for you, because I want you to read the book. I want you to give it a chance. I want to hear your feedback, and I want to know how I can make the book better. And I will likely listen to you. Likely.
That's the thing. It's kind of a cooperation between the creators and the customers. You want to put out a great book that your customers enjoy, but at the same time, nobody else. I talked to a friend of mine one time, and I was worried about somebody stealing my idea on something, and he's like, "Well, nobody cares until it's big. Nobody's gonna steal your idea if you're a nobody and you're putting out that idea, but that people can't dictate because no one else knows. No one else can see the end product like the creator themselves. So
Yeah.
no one knows the ending of this story. No one knows the like you do. So
Yeah.
the fans don't always know what's best
No,
because they're not looking at the information, all the information
exactly.
they have.
And what I mean by that is if they're like, hey, I feel like you could patch up your dialogue here or there. Like,
Yeah.
I like your book, but I like it. One of the big things that I harp on, I'm ready because I'm sure there's going to be some guy that I'd reviewed their book and they've just been waiting, and they're going to come at me like a runaway ice cream truck. And I know that one of the big things that I've gotten on people for is character voice. Do the characters sound like they're different people? If you were able to take away the pictures, would you be able to tell that it was a different person talking?
Yeah, that's a good thought exercise.
And that's a very difficult thing. Like, it's not an easy thing to do in writing because a lot of people like I know, especially with like beginner writers, a lot of them want to have everyone sound like super intelligent and give all these really cool speeches and everything like that. But that's just not how people are. There are people that are very verbose and will talk your ear off, but there are also people that will give you like a 2-word reply. Like, you'll spend like 5 minutes writing a text message and they'll reply, okay. And then like they feel like they've contributed, they've given their weight on the conversation.
Yeah.
So like, you've got to take that stuff into consideration when you're writing. And then, another big thing, a big pet peeve for me is pacing. I hate bad pacing. I have torn books apart for bad pacing. And so like, these are things that I'm sure there is somebody waiting that's just
They're waiting.
they're gonna pick up my book and they're gonna read it and they're just gonna be like, they're gonna find everything wrong with it. It comes with the territory of, I've worked in the industry as a reviewer for a while, so I'm sure that there are people that are gonna pick it up and they're just gonna be like looking for the shit that I called them out on in their books. And I hope that I don't have that much.
Maybe not. But what I mean by cooperation with the fan is, maybe Trojans historically wore this. Oh, well, I didn't know that. Maybe I incorporate that later. But not, you need to kill off the main character. So that kind of stuff is.
Yeah, and that's a whole thing. So I can tell you right now that the armor sets that we have those guys in are kind of based off of Hellenistic era Greece. If I were to pinpoint a time period, Marcelo did a great job with it, but like it's not completely period accurate.
Well, I was just using that for an
No,
example.
no, I know. I'm just like, in case there is some guy that's like, oh, if he thinks he's being accurate, I was like, yes, I am aware that they would be wearing much, much different armor, but the armor they would have been wearing doesn't look as cool. So that's what's important.
I took creative. Yeah, you can always say I took a creative license or creative
Creative
liberties.
license. There has only been one book that I've seen that is about a very similar subject to. Well, it takes place in the Trojan War, and uses like period authentic armor and everything that really pulls it off, and that's Eric Shanower's Age of Bronze, which is a fantastic comic. If you're looking for something to take a look at, but like that's the only like his whole thing is period authenticity, and while the period is a cool thing to be authentic to, I'm far more interested in portraying the characters properly. Like, I'm very excited because I feel that this is probably the closest thing that we've gotten to how Achilles is in the Iliad and the Odyssey that has been displayed in media so far.
Well, story is king.
Yeah.
Story is king in entertainment. I like to say that the art sells your book, the art draws people in, but the story keeps them.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm definitely confident in the story. We'll see how my dialogue writing and everything like that goes. But I not to toot my own horn, but I directed all of these panels. Like, every single one of these panels is pretty much laid out verbatim by what I had set up in my script, and my script was very detailed. Marcelo was like, my artist literally was like, this is honestly one of the easiest things I've had to work on because your script is so incredibly detailed. And a lot of that comes from I am not a professional, but I have dabbled in art my entire life, and so I understand the kind of camera points and what have you that you need to make things dynamic and what have you. And that's not to take anything away from Marcelo, because I couldn't do any of this shit. It's so pretty. But I do have a solid grasp of panel to panel movement and keeping the page turn good. But the real test will be, how does my dialogue flow? How does my narrative flow? And I am so excited to be getting feedback. I'm nervous as all hell, but I'm excited because we're just really excited to get the books out. And this has been a huge part of my life for the past 2 months.
yeah. I have one thing in my book that I made a mistake on. I should have made it a 2-page spread. My artist pointed out to me, but because of the way I had some reveal pages fall, I really couldn't go back and change it without adding fluff or just filler. And I didn't want to do that either. I thought it was worse to do the filler than just nobody else would notice it probably, but me.
No, but I completely get you. We had something similar almost happen with this book, where we realized. So in my initial script, Achilles in this fight that he's doing with Memnon was supposed to be using his spear. And when Marcelo sent me these pages, I was so excited about how great they looked that I completely forgot. And so I was going through my script. I was like, okay, then we have Achilles throw the spear. And then I go, oh, shit. He's not using the spear in the thing. And so I started to talk to Marcelo, and if you go down to the 2-page spread that's there, the stuff that happens in the upward parts of the panel was modified last minute. I came up with the modification last minute to have Achilles be handed the spear by one of the soldiers, and I think that it actually adds something. A buddy of mine who saw it was like, I was about to ask if that was something that you intended to do, because I think that it adds so much more weight to Achilles' character, because it says something about a character that he has somebody come and hand him his weapon. It sets him it gives him a status that puts him above everyone else.
I agree. So is this the first? So is this the first? I know you've worked in the industry doing reviews, but this is the first comic script. There's nothing like you wrote and then like just set aside.
Uh, when I was on when I deployed back 3-4 years ago, I had my first try at writing comic scripts. I wrote a Batman one shot called Orphans of Gotham, and I wrote a Superman one shot called Breadcrumbs. And I would never knowing what I do now, I would never turn either of those in. I think that they're promising concepts, and I might at some point go back and reformat all of them so that they could be viable comic scripts. Because even though I have my own company and what have you, if DC ever came on my door and said, we would like you to write a Batman story, I would literally cry.
Yeah. Well, the reason I ask you that is because I know that you've probably already started on the next.
Yes, I have.
So how much more do you, how much, I don't want to say that because I don't want to belittle what you have here, and I'm not doing that, but how much more confident do you feel going into the next book after getting your art back and your lettering? And
much more confident. Let me tell you, so I knew that my comic strips that I wrote back in the deployment weren't at a professional standard, but one of the big things was while I was writing the original script for this, the 0-issue script, I had been spending the past few weeks prior to sitting down and writing it, trying to find classes or what have you in script writing. And every single one that I had found, I felt like I was being patronized and was being treated like an intro to writing. Because I don't need to know about protagonists and antagonists. I'm well past that. Teach me how to format a script. That's what I need to know. And I need to know how to properly format it so that if I give it to an artist,
I'm not going to embarrass myself.
And so everything that I had, it was a complete waste of time. And so what I ended up doing was I had purchased this special edition of Marv Wolfman's Man and Superman, which is a great comic. And it actually had a copy of his original script draft for the first issue or two. And so literally, I looked at Marv Wolfman's script and taught myself how to write a comic script. I familiarized myself with the language. Every single time there was something that he would have in a description in his script, I'd look back at how it was presented in the book, and I'd be like, okay, so this is what he means by this. This is what he means by that. And then I would go into my script and I'd start putting things together and be like, okay, this is I'd know what kind of shot that I'd want to do. And so I'd try and find something similar in the book. And then I would go to the page that it was in the script. And then I'd be like, okay, this is the term that he uses for this. And so that's how I literally taught myself how to write a script by having this thing right next to me.
So when you started getting your art back, how long did it take you to realize that you can write something exactly how you want it, but your artist can interpret it totally different than you would have ever thought? Because I got some of those, and I'm like, man, I didn't even.
So
some of them are good though.
I really lucked out. Marcelo has almost been a completely a separate entity of myself, because how he has put stuff down in the panels for the most part is exactly how I imagined it. This 2-page spread that we're on here. If you scroll down to it, this looks almost identical to what I had set up in my book. I think the only thing that's even slightly different was, rather than Achilles being in a static pose here, he was sprinting into the Trojan line by himself. But everything else here was perfect. And we've had a really great relationship on this book. I think the first, I didn't have any notes for anything that he did outside of the snafu with the spear until we hit page 8 or 9 of 24. And that was more along the lines of he had forgotten that something was being set up in the script, and so we came up with a way to make it look to make it better. And it's still, he just kept doing it. In the last 5 pages, I got there. In fact, this is actually the only real note that I had for him was in the second to last page of the book. There was a bit where a character is supposed to be moving around in my script, and he had him be static, and that was it. And I talked to him, and I was like, I like the art that you have for this. Rather than have you redo the whole thing, let's use kind of like, you know how you'd see in old comics, so like they would draw a character going through multiple poses to showcase movement, kind of like a stop motion bit. I was like, let's do one of those and have it seem like he's moving across the panel to get to this point and then stands. And he got that back to me, and it looked great. I feel that, you know, and I guess a lot of it also comes from I drew a lot growing up, and I still draw. It's more of a hobby, and I'm not nowhere near a professional level. But like, I've also come to a whole thing of I don't expect what happens in my head to come out on the page, because even when I was doing things myself, that seldomly happened. And so maybe that also played into it. But like, for the most part, every single thing that I've put down on our script has turned out almost exactly how I imagined it.
Yeah, it's a good looking book. I got to say, Carlos, the artist that I've hired for Evermatter, he's done an excellent job. I've had maybe just 1 or 2 notes, and they were just little things that were like, I'm setting up for the next book, and I'm like, man, if you could just change this around just a little bit so that it kind of gives a foreshadowing of what's happening. You know, things that he wouldn't know.
It's crazy how awesome these guys are. We wouldn't have a book if it weren't for Marcelo. And it's great. Obviously, you know, and especially in comics, like your artist is like one of the most essential parts of the book. But like, man, it's crazy how these guys are able to take what we say as writers, and bring it to life. Like, yeah, we give them notes here or there because, you know, we're 2 separate people, and so the way we see things and the way they see things, there's going to be a little bit of a disconnect. But once you find that middle ground, man, it's so insane how well the stuff starts to come out.
Yeah, it is. I agree. And it's such a good feeling to see that, especially when you first start getting your art back from the artist, and it's just there's no other feeling like it. I mean, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, my first piece of artwork that I got from Marcelo was the character design, was the pencils for the character design of Achilles. And we didn't even have pages yet. And I was so blown away from it that not only was like, yeah, you're doing the book, I like launched our Indiegogo campaign like within the week. Like, I think we I think we had just gotten the Achilles concept art colored when we started the campaign. And it's a crazy thing to think of, because Marcelo's finished this 24-page book in 60 days. Like, he is actively doing the last 5 pages right now. And let me tell you, as I said, I got the pencils for them today. They were, outside of like that one panel that I had to give notes on, they were fan-fucking-tastic.
It's amazing. When I got my character sketches back, and I was like, okay, these are the ones we're going to use. I just sat there and looked at them. I was like every few minutes I saved them to my phone, my iPad, and my PC, and I just I'd open it up and just look at
my computer background is my concept art for Achilles. Like, I love it. I like it. If there is a piece of original art of his that I am going to fight for and make sure that I get, it's going to be the pencils, his original pencils of Achilles.
Okay,
Because
so he's not digital. He's doing traditional, or is
so
it?
he does a mixture. He starts off and does the pencils traditional, and then he scans it, inks digital, colors digital.
Yeah, a lot of artists do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But like the results speak for themselves. He does a great job, and it's crazy because like the art you see there is as great as it is. It only gets better. I think if I were to pick my favorite page of his art so far, it's probably page 8, which is the scene where Achilles dies. Um, it's so pretty.
Yeah, we don't have that here though.
I will share it with you as a nice little thank you. Hold on.
Okay.
I've put this up on other, like I normally I wouldn't share too much more of the book, but I have put this page up on other shows. So what we will do is
Well, let's look at it, and then there it is. Zoom in. Can you zoom in?
yep.
Right, and where it's supposed to be. Man, that's nice, dude. You have a
Just
great.
this scene right down here with him looking up and the smile on his face with the blood and everything. It was just it's perfect. I fucking love this page. Every single time I see it when I'm flipping through, because like I go through and I check it, check all of the art every day just because it's good motivation for me.
Yeah.
See how far we've come. And every single time I see this page, I sit here and I just stare at it for like 5 seconds. I love this page of art.
Yeah, it's a
This
beautiful.
one in the net, like this page, page 9 and page 10 are like are probably my favorite pieces that he has in this issue. It's tremendous, like the work that he's done, and he also. I really like that he is able to just come out with like these crazy designs. When you get the book, you'll see how he designed the Ferryman of the Dead Charon, and I'm like, oh man, I got to make sure I work him into the story a lot more than I was planning to because he just looks so fucking cool.
Yeah. And then when you see that, you get motivated. And you have all these like little offshoots for. Well, I could do it.
Yeah.
Eventually I could do a series here, and eventually I could just do something over here, and
Yeah.
So that's.
And
I guess
well,
it's just.
that's one of the things that I really like about this book is every member of the support cast that you're going to get a chance to see is a hero of their own story, right? Like literally heroes of their own story because they're all mythological heroes. They're all representations of their culture's best and most admirable traits in the eyes of their culture. So like every single one of them has a story to tell. And that's something that we're planning on doing. As I said, each one of my goal is every single time we do a campaign, it will be for a collection of essentially a storyline. So you'll have 5 issues of story, and then you're going to have a side adventure. And that side adventure is going to be a story about one of the side characters. It'll be like a story from their myth. And that's something that I'm really enjoying playing with. And I already know who we're doing for the first book. We're going to be doing a story about Theseus. And, everyone's going to expect the Minotaur. But that's not the story we're doing. I wanted to do a story about Theseus that's never been focused on, really, but is still a part of his myth. And we're really excited to get that to you guys. We're already hard at work at it. And I announced earlier with Jimmy Reyes that we've secured some pretty big names to do variant covers for the next book. We got Ted Lehman is going to be doing a line art cover. of Achilles fighting Gilgamesh, which is going to be sick. And then Kevin Sharp, who has done the series Dragon Guard on Indiegogo, is going to be doing our Heroes cover, which will have the Team Hades kind of charging across the cover, which is going to be awesome. And then Scott Rosema is going to be doing our deluxe edition of the first storyline. He's going to be doing that cover. And that deluxe edition that we're doing is going to be will be a hardcover thing that includes the Zero issue, and we'll have another art gallery in it. But yeah, no, it's been one hell of a journey getting the Zero issue out. We already have big things planned for the future, and we have some more stuff coming. Even this summer, we're making sure that we're keeping it around for people, and we're going to be doing a lot of stuff to keep Elysian Fields in people's minds and help grow our base and push on to the next campaign.
So we've been going for a pretty good amount of time here. I've got to go. My wife has done text me. I've stayed at a hotel during the week. She has done text me. She's like, "Where you at?" So I got to go. She is the boss.
Understand. Completely understand. It's been a blast chatting with you. As you said, we've been going for a minute now. It's been an hour and 16 minutes. So
yeah.
we've gotten quite a lot talked about here in that time, and it's been a blast, man. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I hope to see your name on the contribution list soon, so I can send you your secret perk. And remember, hit those deluxe packages so that you can get everything that comes with them.
Yeah, if I had known about the foil cover, I would have already been on there.
Well, I tried to make it as apparent as possible. It's right there in bold letters. Cardstock cover with foil stamp, and will include 30 plus pages of story and artwork. It's right there.
We need pictures. This is 2020. We don't read anymore.
Apparently not.
Hey man, let's run through it one more time so people know if they're dense like me, they'll know what they get. All right, so you get $5. You get the digital money saver, which if you're
for the digital, as an additional thing for the digital money saver, the digital money saver will be getting the book first, because the PDF will be ready before the book is out. That being said, it's not going to be like it. They're not going to be getting it like months ahead of you guys. The book should be shipped into everybody and arriving to everybody in early to mid July. For foreign backers, I hope it will be there in July. So the digital money saver people will be getting that book. Will be getting their books first, because they are missing out on that gorgeous cover.
That is a gorgeous cover. So the single issue, $10, and you get that foil stamp cover.
Yep.
That is the best deal. That's the best deal in Comicsgate right now, or in comics anywhere, I think. What'd you say? It was 20. Well, let me go look, because 30 plus pages.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the best deal in Comicsgate right now. Single issue deluxe. So explain to us what the deluxe is again.
Deluxe means that you get a signature. You get the book signed by me. Unfortunately, Marcelo lives in Brazil, and sending him the books to get signed would be a labor in and of itself. So that's not happening, sadly. But it'll be signed by me. You will get, in addition to the book, you will be getting, for the single issue deluxe, you will be getting the pinup that's 11 by 17 of the Jim O'Reilly art.
I'm gonna pull it up right here, just in case somebody's watching afterwards.
Yeah.
Jim O'Reilly art. There's the pinup. Okay, we go back. Oh, we're over here. We can just go right here. All right, so single issue deluxe comes with the foil stamp, is signed by you. Of course, the artist lives in Brazil, so there's no way really cost effective to do that. So and then you get that gorgeous
pinup right there. You want that pinup, is
Yeah.
what and then you've got Double Trouble regular, which, given that there are only 5 of them, I will probably end up just upgrading them all to deluxe.
Just spend the extra money. Just spend the extra $5 and get the Double Trouble Deluxe, because
Yeah.
that's where it's at. That's where that's the best value really of this whole campaign, because
Yeah.
I mean, that's where people are gravitating. It's got 51 backers,
Yeah.
the backers on that.
And so Double Trouble Deluxe, you get 2 copies of the book, 1 signed, and then you get the Jim O'Reilly pinup. And then for our final perk tier, please someone get this. You guys are hurting Luke Stone's feelings. We have the original art done by Luke Stone from our live interview with Demon Phil from Comics and More, New Jersey. And with that, you get a signed copy of Elysian Fields and the Jim O'Reilly pinup, all for $115 plus shipping. Like,
do you have a link to that so I can post it?
What I will do is I have the image here, and I will share screen it so that they can see what the art is. Give me a second.
Yes, no problem.
All right. And it's got a nice little watermark on it so people can't steal it from the video.
I got
you. Share screen, application window. And so that badass piece of artwork, you will be getting that, and it'll be signed by Luke. You can't beat that value. You get a signed copy of the book. You get the Jim O'Reilly pinup, and you get frickin' this. Like, man, it's honestly been like kind of a running gag that I've been having with Luke, because he did this about a week and a half ago, and we were convinced that it'd be gone in a day, and it's been like a week and a half. And so we've all been kind of like posting it around, like, you guys are starting to give Luke a complex.
Yeah, it's a little banter. Friendly.
You guys are really hurting Luke's feelings.
Yeah, somebody needs to grab it up.
Yeah, man. Look at that thing. It's freaking awesome. You got this bull guy here is Enkidu, who's Gilgamesh's companion, and he's facing off with Achilles, and you've got this awesome point of view angle from like Achilles holding his spear, looking up at it's just fun. Like, it's a dynamic, cool cover, or cool not cover, but cool picture, and it's freaking awesome. And if I weren't the person running the campaign and that would cause some little ethical issues, I would be purchasing this.
Yep, it's definitely $115. Yeah. So yeah, this is best value in Comicsgate. I guarantee you. So, well, Michael, it was great having you. I'm glad I got to talk to you. Glad I got to meet you. So
absolutely, Jerry. Thanks so much for having me on, man.
Yep. I may get you on a little later whenever you got several books in mind. So we'll do it again.
Yeah. Well, once we start the promotion on the next book, I'll be glad to come on. And if you when you get your copy and if you want to do a review, I'd be happy to come back on and we can talk about the book.
Oh yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I'm definitely you'll see my name on there probably tomorrow morning.
Cheers.
All right. Hey, have a good night.
You do the same.